Welcome to Beyond Technology Limited's installation guide for solar energy storage products. This is your guidance, and let's explore together how to easily install this efficient and environmentally friendly energy solution. This video is applicable to the following models of products. Before starting the installation, ensure that you have prepared the following items: the photovoltaic energy storage system body, connection cables, mounting brackets, screw kits, and basic installation tools, including electric drills, screwdrivers, insulation tapes, and safety equipment. Do not install the equipment in a place near flammable, explosive, or corrosive materials. Do not install the equipment in a place that is easy to touch, especially within children's reach. High temperature exists when the equipment is working. Do not touch the surface to avoid burning. Install the equipment in a sheltered place to avoid direct sunlight, rain, and snow. Build a sunshade if it is needed. Install the equipment in a well-ventilated place to ensure good dissipation. Also, the installation space should be large enough for operations. Proper space should be reserved around each inverter. Take out the installation board. Use a spirit level or a leveling ruler to ensure that the mounting plate is in a horizontal position. Mark positions for drilling holes. Drill holes to a depth of 50 millimeters using the hammer drill. The diameter of the drill bit should be 8 millimeters. Make sure there is no electrical connection before installation. Before drilling, avoid the water and electricity wiring in the wall. Install the expansion sleeve directly into the prepared holes or secure the mounting plate using the expansion bolts. Use an electric screwdriver to install and tighten the self-tapping screws into the expansion sleeves. Install the inverter on the mounting plate. Remove the side fixing screws and tighten them using an electric screwdriver. Before electrical connections, please make sure that all switches connected to the inverter are set to off. Otherwise, electric shock may occur. Ensure that the inverter is undamaged and all cables are voltage-free before performing electrical work. Do not close the AC circuit breaker until the electrical connection is complete. Damage to the product caused by incorrect wiring is not covered by the warranty. Electrical connection must be performed by professionals. Use a multimeter to determine the positive and negative lines of the PV system, as well as the battery's positive and negative terminals. Please note that the external grounding cable needs to be prepared by the customers. Prepare the cable and OT or DT terminal. Strip one end of the ground wire using wire strippers. Use a crimping tool to secure the terminal onto the stripped end of the ground wire. Repeat the same process for the other end of the ground wire. Secure one end of the ground wire to the side of the enclosure. Using an M5 screw and a Torx screwdriver, secure the other end of the ground wire to the main ground terminal. Strip the insulation from each DC cable by 7 to 8 millimeter. Use a dedicated crimping tool to securely crimp the stripped bare copper conductor. Insert the crimped wire from the back of the PV terminal housing into the terminal, ensuring you hear a click sound to confirm successful fixation. And ensure that the DC voltage is within the allowable range of the inverter marked on the fuselage nameplate. Perform the same operation on the other end, making sure to insert it from the back of the PV terminal housing into the terminal. Once you hear a click sound, it indicates successful fixation. Connect the battery cables to the corresponding terminals such as BAT positive, BAT negative, and grounding ports correctly. Otherwise, it will cause damage to the inverter. Ensure that the whole cable cores are inserted into the terminal holes. No part of the cable core can be exposed. Turn off the main switch for the grid to ensure that there is no voltage present in the grid side wires. Do not connect any local load between the inverter and the AC circuit breaker. You should complete this connection by installing the meter on your distribution box. Prepare a cable with a diameter of 13 to 18 millimeter. Strip 10 mm off the insulation at one end of each wire. The wires are respectively connected to the backup and on-grid of the inverter and tightened. Use wire strippers to strip a small section of the outer sheath from one end of the communication cable, exposing the inner wires. Insert the wires into the crystal connectors side by side in the specified order shown in the diagram. During installation, ensure that the pins at both ends of the communication cable correspond to each other. Install the stick logger. Use a wire crimper to install the grid wires, L1, L2, L3, or N, onto the terminals. Use the CT1 terminal to clamp the L1 grid cable, noting that the CT terminal position must be in front of all household loads, and the direction of CT should be towards the residential power grid. The CT2 and CT3 refers to CT1. Take the other end of the 2-core communication wire and strip it using a wire stripper to expose the copper wires. Install the wire corresponding to the inverter communication terminal 18 into the port A of the smart meter using a screwdriver, and terminal 17 into the port B of the smart meter. Please check the following items before power on. The inverter is installed in a proper place where the environment is clean and tidy. Also, the position is easy to operate. The PE cable, power cables, communication cable, meter communication cable are connected correctly, securely, and reliably. Cables are routed properly. Cable ties are evenly distributed, and no burr exists. Unused terminals and ports are locked by waterproof caps. The DC switch and all the switches connected to the inverter are set to off. The voltage and frequency at the connection point meet the inverter grid connection requirements. Prepare a smartphone to download the monitoring app, SolarMan. After all the components are connected, we enter the system commissioning phase. Step 1. Turn on the AC breaker on the on-grid side of the inverter. Step 2. Turn on the AC breaker on the backup side of the inverter. Step 3. Turn on the battery breaker between the inverter and the battery. Step 4. Turn on the DC switch of the inverter. Please download the SolarMan app and watch the SolarMan Smart App User video for system commission. Congratulations, you have completed the installation of photovoltaic energy storage products. Thank you for your choice and trust. Let us work together to create a better future.